Chapter 262, Seagod's ability, Golden 13 Halberds, CL by Bagelson. It wasn't pleasant for BB Dong either. With a low roar, a layer of the Seagod's golden light flashed all over her. The original dark green light instantly dulled a moment, then recovered again. With a muffled grunt, she also retreated a step. Of course, BB Dong wasn't forced back by Tang San's spirit power attack, but rather the blazing holy wound that pure Seagod's light gave her. This was the might of a true divine tool, relying on the Seagod trident Tang San held, even though Tang San was at a disadvantage in his first spirit ability collision with BB Dong because of lack of spirit power. But being able to beat back BB Dong was something he could be proud of. His assessment was correct. BB Dong had indeed already reached peak Douluo strength. Her spirit power wasn't ranked 98, but rather 99. If there wasn't a portion of spirit power she didn't dare use at the moment, the current she would be even stronger than the Seagod Douluo. After all, this was dry land. Only, even though BB Dong was forced back, at the same time she also targeted Tang San's position. With abundant combat experience plus formidable strength, her death domain erupted at once, swiftly corroding Tang San's blue-silver domain. The two domains differed by at least one level. This was a difference in spirit power. Having lost the support of the slowing and gravity domains, Tang San's blue-silver domain's boundless nature quickly melted away. Without need of BB Dong's instructions, the four great tidal Douluo charged straight towards Tang San, guided by BB Dong's mental power. Facing five great powers, Tang San didn't have a trace of panic. Just like he said, he was no longer the Tang San from before. In his time on Seagod Island, he had truly matured, becoming one of the powers of the present era. Killing him wasn't that easy. As the successor chosen by a god, he possessed strength far beyond what his spirit power might indicate. Before the golden light from the Seagod trident's attack had faded completely, it instead grew even more intense as Tang San infused it with Seagod's light. Countless golden lines of light flowed out from the Seagod trident, and those giant blades grew transparent as crystal. With his left foot as axis, Tang San quickly spun one turn in place, his calves leading the thighs, then moving his waist back until finally the force reached his arms, and in his hands 108 Gen heavy Seagod trident flew out like a meteor chasing the moon, directly towards those four tidal Douluo. The split second the Seagod trident left his hands, Tang San's blue silver domain instantly turned golden, and BB Dong's death domain was forcefully pushed back by the blue silver domain mixed with the Seagod trident's capability. Careful! BB Dong shouted, unable to halt the attack on Tang San. With a flash, she reached her four subordinates. She couldn't tolerate any more losses. The spider lances her arms had turned into instantly transformed, becoming two giant black sickles, meeting the Seagod trident head-on. The four tidal Douluo went idiots either. Seeing her Imperial Majesty regard this suddenly appearing golden light so seriously, plus how the giant weapon instantly killed Ghost Douluo before, they immediately unhesitatingly released their single target attack abilities, focusing them all on attacking that glittering trident. BB Dong's arms transforming into giant sickles were actually the spirit bones of her left and right arms. These two bones had dropped from 100,000-year death spider emperor. One spirit beast producing two spirit bones could be said to be a unique occurrence. These two spirit bones were also one of her strongest killing moves. Now confronting the Seagod trident, she didn't hesitate to use them. When comparing spirit power, Tang San of course wasn't BB Dong's opponent, even so much that he was very far behind in spirits and spirit rings. But he had one thing BB Dong lacked, an advantage blessed by the heavens. That was the status of Seagod's successor, the sacred golden light he previously produced by relying on the Seagod trident. BB Dong could block by relying on her formidable cultivation, but this Seagod trident main attack wasn't so easy to resist. The Seagod trident's own weight reached a terrifying 108,000 Jin, plus Tang San infusing it with spirit power and the Seagod's light, producing the main abilities of the trident: devil breaking, evil breaking, shattering. Three effects emerged simultaneously. Even if Tang San still couldn't display its full might, this one all-out attack was still extremely frightening. A loud sound accompanied a sudden golden flash, the divine instruments power shocking everyone present. The four tidal Douluo were thrown back practically simultaneously. The attacks they launched on the Seagod trident only slowed it slightly, but also led to the Seagod trident's golden light becoming even more intense. The one who truly blocked the Seagod trident was still BB Dong. The pitch-black giant sickles stiffly resisted the trident. BB Dong's 99 ranks of spirit power erupted completely, but even so, she was still thrown back by the enormous force. The trident's devil breaking, evil breaking and shattering effects constantly blasted her body, and one after another, cracks swiftly spread across her sides. At this moment, BB Dong showed her true strength. She gave a furious roar, and the six spider lances on her back forcefully stabbed into the ground. Her arms suddenly shook, and the two giant sickles simultaneously detonated, the violent explosion finally blocking the Seagod trident's attack, and at the same time, the spider web on her forehead brightened again, traces of purple and green mixed energy flowing across her body. BB Dong's face revealed a painful expression, but her strength still abruptly amplified. With a sudden swing of her body, her hands retransformed into palms lifted up the Seagod trident, immediately lifting it upwards. A purple-green stream of energy covered the trident, actually forcefully weakening the Seagod's light by a lot. Maintaining the attack until now, Tang San was also practically exhausted. Breathing deeply, his hands pulled, controlling crane catching grand launching. The Seagod trident was barely more than 100 Jin to him, and propelled by the spirit power, it shot back towards Tang San. In the attack just now, Tang San could be said to have used all his strength, even more than when he faced his great-grandfather's attack. After all, right now his spirit power was already rank 85. To be able to force back five great powers with one attack could all be credited to the Seagod trident. But, following along with the returning Seagod trident was also malicious-looking BB Dong. At this moment, Tang San and BB Dong's domains had already disappeared. In a collision of the level just now, Tang San was unable to maintain his domain further, and BB Dong's death domain was directly broken by the effects of the Seagod trident. She didn't need to recover, Tang San thought, seeing BB Dong lunge at him along with the Seagod trident. His left hand pulled back, right hand pushing forward. In midair, the Seagod trident suddenly turned sideways, directly looking at BB Dong. Since Tang San could use the clear sky hammer as a meteor hammer, he could naturally change the direction of the Seagod trident in midair. The change was so sudden that even a power like BB Dong couldn't react to it. At first she wanted to grab the trident, seizing this divine tool, and therefore she chased after extremely closely. Now the Seagod trident suddenly turned, whipping her, and she only had time to raise her hands to block. With a thump, BB Dong was blasted away like a cannonball, and the Seagod trident accelerated again, returning to Tang San's hand. Tang San knew this hadn't hurt BB Dong. Her spirit power was too formidable, and when the trident hit her body she had easily dissolved the force. It seemed like she had been beaten very far, but the already darkened Seagod trident no longer had the three breaking powers, and just weight alone wasn't enough to cause this Lord Supreme Pontiff any true harm. With the Seagod trident in hand, Tang San didn't dare delay further, and suddenly restrained his aura. A teleportation brought him 100 meters back, and the vast sea ocean shroud started simultaneously, covering his body and entering stealth mode. He quickly moved aside. He had already been exposed, and with BB Dong's strength and formidable domain, she absolutely wouldn't give him the chance to use boundless nature to hide again. Even if he could fully use the blue silver domain, just his strength couldn't resist BB Dong's domain corrosion. If he didn't leave now, he might not have another chance. With Tang San's intelligence, he didn't immediately move away, but rather first moved sideways, just in time to evade the long-range attacks launched by the four tidal Douluo, and then increased his distance. BB Dong really was about to go insane. With the 100,000-year spirit rings that were practically in her hands removed like this, how could she stay calm? Tang San's blue silver domain gave her a familiar yet unfamiliar feeling. It felt like a kid from back then, but how could he have grown this strong within a few years? Even if it wasn't enough to fight her, his domain and mental strength wasn't weaker than hers. All he lacked was spirit power, alone toying with six tidal Douluo, even killing one. You couldn't find powers like that in the entire continent. Moreover, he had stolen 200,000-year spirit rings. The 200,000-year spirit rings relating to the completion of BB Dong's second spirit. Furious, BB Dong raised a piercing cry towards the sky, the spiderweb mark on her forehead suddenly flourishing, gaudy green light violently shooting out. The spiderweb instantly transformed into a green eye, and a dim green light spit out from within, swiftly sweeping in front of her. BB Dong's full mental strength seemed focused on this one sweep. In an instant, everywhere the green light swept was painted in a faint green luster, and where Tang San was hiding with the vast sea barrier appeared a faint green silhouette. BB Dong's mental immunity Unity Skull Bone Spirit ability, True World, launched. BB Dong absolutely wouldn't use this Skull Spirit Bone ability lightly, because it consumed an enormous amount of mental strength, requiring a full third of BB Dong's mental power to use. Previously her mental power had always been locked on the two great divine beasts, so how could she casually use it? Now she couldn't pay attention to that. If she let Tang San escape, she might really never have another chance at those two spirit beasts, and so use this powerful spirit bone ability regardless of consumption. Mental immunity Skull Spirit Bone ability True World. Effect, immunity to illusions and charm, seeing the truth. Any hallucination type abilities lost all effects under its light. Somewhat similar to Tang San's purple demon eye, but without its attack abilities. The split second he was swept by that dim green light, Tang San became aware something was wrong. He discovered that he actually couldn't sever BB Dong's mental strength again. Even though that green light didn't have any offensive power, it stuck as closely to him as a bone maggot. And at the same time as Tang San's silhouette appeared, BB Dong took the initiative, bringing the four-tidal Douluo to lunge at him. Behind her, 6 purple wings as thin as a cicada's broke out, instantly bringing her speed to a terrifying level. This was another of BB Dong's spirit bones, and just like Tang San's 8 spider lances an external spirit bone, called 6 purple light wings, coming from a spirit beast called Purple Winged Spider Emperor, gave the ability to fly, could evolve. In order to catch Tang San, always paying attention to hiding her strength, BB Dong used 2 major spirit bone abilities. This showed what level her loathing for Tang San had reached, and at the same time, BB Dong's body turned a dim green in midair. Her whole body exploded with green mist, fully using the 7th spirit ability, Soul-Eating Spider Emperor Avatar. This was the spirit avatar granted by a 100,000-year spirit ring. The 2 originally shattered giant sigils appeared once again. Dim green light released, leaving behind an afterimage. She instantly appeared behind Tang San. BB Dong already hated Tang San to the bone, and even though she couldn't kill him right now in order to learn the whereabouts of the 2 great divine beasts from him, she would still seriously injure him first event. BB Dong really was very fast, and moreover, at the same time as she pursued, her death domain already started back up, instantly enveloping Tang San. The terrifying toxicity and powerful weakening effect all landed on him. This was the difference in strength. The powerful abilities Tang San had used in succession still hadn't recovered, but BB Dong could still continuously use her own domain and abilities. The 2 sigils glinted with green light and cut straight at Tang San's shoulders. Very clearly, she was going to first remove his arms. Just at this moment, the Seagod trident in Tang San's hands brightened yet again. BB Dong's true world had really launched too suddenly, making Tang San, who originally had full confidence in being able to escape, turn pale with fright. This was also why spirit masters would typically hide their abilities. Because of unfamiliarity with BB Dong's abilities, Tang San had in this instant fallen from having the advantage to disadvantage, and it was a fatal disadvantage. In such a moment, Tang San's battle cultivation and many years of hardships on Seagod Island were revealed. BB Dong was undoubtedly the fastest, charging up like a shooting star, but the other few tidal Douluo behind her were also extremely fast. As long as Tang San collided with BB Dong's ability once, they would be able to catch up. Tang San clearly understood that his only chance was in that instant before the 4 tidal Douluo reached them. If he was surrounded by 5 people, maybe only someone with his great-grandfather's strength plus a divine tool would be able to leave. Therefore, Tang San didn't hesitate to pour the Seagod's light into the Seagod trident for a 3rd time, and it was again washed with golden color. This divine tool was his only advantage when facing BB Dong, but he didn't swing the trident towards her, but on the contrary stabbed it into the ground in front of him, and at the same time he used Ghost Shadow Perplexing Track, shifting behind it in a flash. If BB Dong was determined to cut off Tang San's arms, then her body would inevitably knock against the Seagod trident. As for what effect it would have, BB Dong didn't know, and she absolutely didn't want to know. The golden rhombic gem suddenly flared with light on the Seagod trident, intense golden light instantly isolating Tang San from BB Dong's death domain. Just as Tang San grasped the Seagod trident and prepared to again escape with teleportation, suddenly, he discovered that he couldn't move. Without any warning, his whole body was paralyzed, as if petrified. What shocked him the most was that the energy that made him unable to move didn't come from BB Dong, but rather that golden light scattered by the Seagod trident. This change completely exceeded Tang San's calculations. It felt like when he brought Xiao Wu to escape last time in Star Do Great Forest and met the man-faced demon spider, trapping him and Xiao Wu. Could it be this Star Do Great Forest was his nemesis? Before Tang San could think further, in just this moment, a bizarre change occurred. Tang San originally wanted to draw support from the Seagod trident's fully erupting with evil breaking light to temporarily block BB Dong. Then before he teleported, give her a purple god light and seriously injure her mental world with his not weaker than her mental strength, keeping her from using true world again, and then again use teleportation to pull open the distance and hide with the vast sea barrier, then smoothly escape. But that rhombic Seagod's heart on the Seagod trident released light more intense than Tang San anticipated, not only fixing Tang San in place, but simultaneously that intense light also made BB Dong give a cry of surprise, giving her no choice but rely on the strength of her lower limbs to shoot back. At the same time that green eye on her forehead also closed, again turning into a spiderweb pattern, transforming into a green light shield, just managing to resist that extremely intense Seagod's light. But even so, her green shield was quickly melting. The other 4 tidal Douluo catching up were also all scared stupid by the dazzling golden light from the Seagod trident. They also couldn't keep their steps from slowing. Tang San's entire body had now turned completely golden misty brilliance soaring from him like flame. Behind him, an enormous golden silhouette slowly appeared. Light and shadow played 3 times Tang San's height. One could vaguely see a golden armored human. At the same time, the splendorous golden light was filled with endless restoring force, enveloping the full body armor besides the face, and the face was completely illusory and couldn't be clearly seen. This is BB Dong's heart suddenly sank, and formidable pressure appearing in her heart without reason. Right now, she couldn't spare any attention for the business of the 2 spirit beasts. The golden flame that suddenly appeared on Tang San made her for the first time feel a threat to her life. Even though Tang San's body was completely immobile, his mental strength wasn't restrained, and through these senses he could also see the strange side of himself. This wasn't the first time these circumstances appeared. Last time was when he drew the Seagod trident. Only this time, the silhouette behind him was even more clear. At this moment, the golden silhouette behind Tang San suddenly took a step forward, passing through Tang San, arriving in front of him. With a soft wave of its right hand, that 108,000 jin heavy Seagod trident fell into its giant palm. With a shake of its hand, the trident was immediately also rendered in that golden flame, and moreover grew to 3 times its size, matching that golden silhouette. A deep and resounding bold voice, filled with dignity, echoed in Tang San's mind. I moved unhindered in the Douluo water world for more than a millennium, obtaining the Seagod seat, creating the golden 13 Halberds. 1. Sweeping unequaled across the seas. Now I impart to you the first 3. I will only use them once. First form, unfixed storm. 2. As the voice reverberated in Tang San's mind, the golden figure took another step forward. As this step fell, everything in the surroundings instantly became brilliantly golden. Even all the plants seemed like forged from gold. That was a golden light mist. The Seagod trident rose in the hand of that figure, dexterously sweeping out, bringing one dazzlingly beautiful golden ring of light after another. Each golden ring seemed disorderly and messy, but they moved towards and enveloped BB Dong as if they had eyes. Within this golden mist, BB Dong discovered to her shock that her death domain had completely lost effect, and basically couldn't be released outside. At the same time, her mental strength was also pushed back by a formidable pressure until it couldn't stretch beyond her body. She could only use her eyes to observe her surroundings. Watching those rings of golden light head on, cold light burned in BB Dong's eyes. Her red 6th spirit ring flashed, and the dim green light instantly turned emerald, making her malicious-looking spirit avatar form turn the color of jade. The 2 jade-like giant sigils rose simultaneously, and a speck of green light spread out in a flash, becoming a bright sharp edge, slanted, crisscross chopping out, an immense forked ripple shot straight to that golden figure. As that jade-like ripple of light met with the golden rings released from the Seagod trident, there was unexpectedly no collision. They only passed through each other. The golden light still headed towards BB Dong and the other 4, while that jade-colored light also cut straight at the golden figure. Absolutely don't underestimate this faint light. As a 100,000-year spirit ability, with the backing of BB Dong's 99 ranks of spirit power, how could its power be ordinary? This 100,000 year 6th spirit ability was named Everlasting Wound. Physical defenses were ineffective against it, and energy defenses reduced 50%. If it hit, the wound would spread endlessly, and could only be resisted with spirit power, until the spirit power was exhausted and you died. No matter where it hit, it was fatal. It was one of BB Dong's most powerful single target attacks. The other 4 title Douluo weren't staying idle either, confronting the golden light in their spirit avatar forms. They all took out at least their 8 spirit abilities and attacked. But their attacks were just like BB Dong's Everlasting Wound. They couldn't counteract the golden light, and rather directly shot at the golden figure. At this moment, that deep voice again echoed in Tang San's mind. Unfixed storm, attack and defense united. The only restraining ability of the golden 13 Halberds, and also the strongest restraining ability. If the target is hit, no matter how strong, for 8 seconds they cannot move. The Seagod trident seemed to come alive in the hands of that golden figure. As the everlasting wound reached it, it nimbly produced yet another golden ring of light. The light mainly emanated from the trident's blades, and within the ring appeared a faintly golden barrier, and just like a stain washed in seawater, BB Dong's powerful ability was unexpectedly directly erased. Yes, it felt like it was erased. Next, the Seagod trident drew another 4 rings of light, easily erasing the other 4 title Douluo's attacks. Tang San's eyes opened wide, using all his mental power, wholeheartedly sensing each move that golden figure made, and moreover deeply sensing the energy waves within. As that golden shadow relied on the Seagod trident to easily block the attacks of 5 title Douluo, he finally understood why this unfixed storm was said to be attack and defense united. Seeing her attack unexpectedly being ineffective, and that illusory golden ring already in front of her, BB Dong couldn't help changing expression. In that instant she made her response. Advancing instead of retreating, she instead charged towards the golden light, and at the same time, her body changed in a way that left Tang San dumbstruck. The originally dark green body emanating green mist instantly turned purple, and her whole form also changed, changing from the soul-eating spider emperor avatar to death spider emperor avatar, and the 7 spirit rings naturally also became 9. Tang San's shock at this scene was obvious. In this world, there were only 2 known twin spirit masters. One was him, and the other was BB Dong. This was naturally also the first time Tang San saw the real applications of twin spirits in battle. BB Dong actually succeeded in spirit avatar change, completely exceeding the common sense of spirit use. Under ordinary circumstances, she should first have withdrawn the soul-eating spider emperor avatar, and then changed spirits, and then launched the death spider emperor avatar, but she directly omitted the middle steps, completing the switch. Like this, she could switch over to using the death spider emperor abilities without pause. Tang San didn't know how BB Dong did it, but also having twin spirits, since BB Dong could do it, then in theory, it should be possible for him too. Along with the spirit avatar changing, BB Dong's night spirit ring flared, and her entire body was covered with a layer of bizarre purple magic lines. And the next moment, those golden rings of light enveloped her and the other 4 title Douluo. The 4 title Douluo were completely frozen, and BB Dong also directly fell from the air, each of their expressions turning dull, their auras completely suppressed. Even though their spirits and spirit rings remained, they were still motionless and couldn't even struggle. Each person was enveloped by a golden misty halo. Tang San drew a cold breath, such a powerful control ability, to be able to simultaneously seal 4 title Douluo plus a peak Douluo. The Seagod trident's true ability, the golden 13 Halberds, were unexpectedly so powerful. According to what the voice in his mind said, these 5 people would actually be locked in place for 8 seconds. In a life and death battle, 8 seconds was far too much. Whether escaping or launching attacks, it would undoubtedly give the absolute initiative. There was also no need to doubt the effect of this ability when working together with others. Even more so when this unfixed storm combined attack and defense. The opponents basically couldn't defend against those rings of light. They could only dodge, and he could also rely on the Seagod trident to dissolve the enemy's attacks. It could simply be described as a divine ability. Even 100,000 year ninth spirit ability might only reach this level. Just as Tang San was feeling shocked, that golden figure moved again. Golden 13 Halberds, second form, millennial space. The golden figure leapt up, turning into countless golden lights, as dazzling as golden clouds of light. The golden clouds directly enveloped the 5 people, the majority surrounding BB Dong, with unprecedented size. Group attack ability. Tang San immediately thought of these words. Large quantities of information constantly entered his mind through his mental power, and he did his utmost to memorize it, for fear of missing anything. With a loud explosion, that wide expanse of golden clouds detonated practically simultaneously, enveloping the 5 like a flood of mercury. In that violent explosion, each of them suffered a powerful attack, and the 4 title Douluo madly vomited blood, thrown high into the air by that golden cloud explosion, falling far away. If they weren't dead, they'd still be seriously injured. Purple magic lines roamed all over BB Dong's body right now, forming a layer of purple defense. But as that enormous golden cloud detonated with a heaven-shaking explosion, she was still equally thrown out. Her expression wasn't visible under her spirit avatar, but from the large amounts of purple liquid the death spider emperor spit out, she was clearly injured. Unfortunately, not enough energy. The dignified voice was regretful. Even though this one attack had seriously injured 5 powerful title Douluo at once, he was still very dissatisfied. But his voice at once grew stronger. Golden 13 Halberds, third form, one goes without return. But seeing that golden figure instantly spin once in midair, the Seagod trident in its hand also shooting out a half illusory golden light, as if cutting open the sky. The light containing an illusory distortion already reached BB Dong. This attack was somewhat similar to the all-out strike Tang San used before, but without a doubt, it was way more powerful, at least 5 times that of Tang San's attack. And BB Dong was currently still within the 8-second restraint of the unfixed storm, basically unable to move. With an explosive pop, under the brilliantly golden Seagod trident, BB Dong's body actually burst into countless fragments, spraying in all directions. The intense golden light shot straight ahead for a kilometer, and where it passed, everything turned to golden specks of light and disappeared. Seeing a single attack like this left Tang San stupefied. The golden light vanished, and the golden trident once again returned to Tang San's grasp, turning back to black. The dignified voice became fuzzy. Hold well these first 3 forms. Do not fear for self-defense. Meeting god-level opponents, unfixed storm's restraint will be curtailed, but will be no less than 3 seconds. Remember. Then when can I learn the next 10 forms? Tang San shouted inwardly. Do not be greedy. The day you become Seagod is the moment to learn the golden 13 Halberds. That person hasn't died. She possesses abilities making her body undying. Unless you inherit the seed of a god, you can never kill her. But she is also infected by my golden divine power. She will need at least an hour to be as before after recovering. You can leave now. Remember, don't disgrace my golden 13 Halberds. 1. Golden 13 Halberds. The last character used alone means halberd, but is also a component of trident which translates as 3-pronged halberd. 2. Unfixed storm, without set wind and waves.